What is going on, guys? My name is Weds, and in this video we are going to talk about the important things you need to know to start this game, Strangers of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. Now, first thing you need to know, this is not a Final Fantasy game. So if you come into this game thinking you're gonna play Final Fantasy, you will be for a big disappointment. So having said all of that, the other thing you need to know is that you're either gonna love this game or you're gonna hate it. This is a very convoluted game that if you don't have some kind of guidance, then you can be so confused you may not know what to do and even throw this game in the trash. But luckily for you, I am making this guide after going through the game and finish the campaign, and I want to help out some of the new players that want to learn the game and give this game a shot. It is a very satisfying game if you have an open mind about this type of game. Now, a lot of people want to compare this game to games like NIOH because they are the same developers that make this game, but this game is its own game, so take this with a grain of salt. So what is this game is all about? So this game is about you playing as a guy named Jack and some other companions. So in order for you to enjoy this game, you're gonna have a system that is called jobs. In other game you would call this class or subclasses or whatever, but in this game they call them jobs. So if you play Final Fantasy before, so you might have an idea what this is all about, or if you play a game like NIOH, so you should have an idea what this is all about. So tip number one, the best way to go about the story mission, in my opinion, is if you go to the difficulty. Now when you start the game, you're gonna have all three difficulties: story, action, and hard. So you can just go and play hard or action or whatever, but in my opinion, if you want to make the best out of this game so you can get to the end game as fast as possible, just play on story. Trust me, you will not regret this, because if you're trying to play it on hard, it's going to take you a long time to actually get to the end game, and the game isn't even starting until you get to the end game. Now, once you finish the missions, all the missions, and you beat the final boss for the campaign or the story mission, then you can unlock chaos. Now, chaos is also a problem on its own. Now, in order for you to actually be able to do chaos, even if you were to play on hard and you think you're gonna get like high gear and stuff like that, there is a gear requirement in order for you to play on chaos. And on top of that, you also have another resource in this game that you need to have to even start the chaos mission. So this is a problem for a lot of people. Now, to show you what I'm talking about when it comes to the chaos mode, then we come to the map. Now, the map is gonna be different for you, depends on where you are in the game, because I am on chaos difficulty, so you're gonna see different symbol on it. Like I mentioned, if you want to play the mission in the chaos difficulty, you're gonna need a resource that is called Enigma Crystal. As you can see on the left side, it says when you complete this mission, you'll get some Enigma Crystal. And in order for you to start any mission, you're gonna need this. Let me show you. So when you start this, you can see the mission is locked. I can't even play it because I don't have the Enigma Crystal. So if you go to select mission, and here you can see, in order for you to play the mission at the lower difficulty, you need 1 crystal. Now, how do you get the crystal if you can even unlock this mission? Well, so that's the reason why you go to the first mission, because the first mission does not require any crystal for you to play it. So you would go to the first mission, and then when you complete the first mission, you will get 2 crystals, and with those 2 crystals, then you will be able to start other mission at the lowest level. Now, there are some ways that people use to actually do that, but if you don't do the first mission to get the first 2 crystals, you are not going to be able to play any mission whatsoever on the chaos difficulty. Now we got this out of the way. The next thing I need to let you know in advance that I think it is important for you to know, if you plan on buying the DLC for this game, just think about it before you do. I'm saying this because I bought the DLC, but I cannot play the DLC because you have to play the DLC at a level difficulty, because Bahamut. In order for you to play the Bahamut difficulty, you have to be geared up to the highest level of chaos, which means you have to finish chaos, level up to level 300, and then you will be able to tackle the DLC, which is a bad idea for a game like this, that you pay for the DLC and you are forced to do some other things before you can actually play. That's the reason why there are so many problems online with people complaining about this with good reason. This is actually BS in my opinion. So that's one thing that I want to make sure that you know about. Now that you know some of the problems that you might have with this game, but if you still want to play the game, hopefully they will fix those issues, and then you don't have to worry about what I just said about some of the problems. Then you still want to play the game. Now you can still play the game by just completing the missions on chaos and then go to the DLC. That's no problem, because a lot of people are doing it, but some people don't want to do this, and I agree with their decision for that reason. Now that we have a couple important issues out of the way, then let's go to the actual game. Now for the actual game, if you want to play the game, then you're gonna have to select a job. Now when you're on the map, you can just bring up a job tree. Now in the job tree, when you go in there, then you can see all these characters. So I'm gonna put on screen all the jobs, or you can call them classes, that exist in the game when you first start the game, and then how you can go about doing them. So if you take a look on the screen, you can see all the jobs. There are about 29 of these jobs, and then if you buy the DLC, then you will be able to have 3 additional jobs. They are the Pilgrim, the Evoker, and also the Summoners. Now let's talk about the job system in this game. So if you want to get access to the jobs and see everything, then you need to be near one of those things that are called cube, or you can also be by the map and you'll be able to pull up the jobs very easily. So let's go with the cube for the first time, and then you can see you get the jobs, and then you can also have the online if you want to play online, and then you can just do whatever you want to do when it comes to that menu. Now in the job tree, like for instance, when you first start the game, you're gonna have one character to play with, which is Jack. So if you go here, and then you're gonna have this one character, and it is a swordsman. Now you see a lot of unlocked characters on there. That's because I've been playing the game for a while. In any case, so for your first job, then you're gonna have to unlock something called job points. Now every time you unlock some job points, then you can just invest them in those passive, and also this is another way that you can unlock other jobs. Like at the bottom of every tree on the job, there are some jobs that are available for you to unlock. So that's how you see I unlock all these characters. So that's how you unlock jobs. Another way you can unlock jobs in this game, if you find a weapon type that the so-called job character have to wield. So that means if you find a staff, then you can unlock a Pilgrim, which is another job. Now we have all these jobs that are available, and I already show you a screenshot and all the jobs that you can have. It is a matter of what is your play style and what you like to do. So you can experiment with a lot of jobs until you find the one that you like. But when you are doing this story, you just pick the one you like, and then you can just unlock some other ones. But you got to stick with the one that you like, or you can try other ones, because that's the reason why I say you put the game on easy mode. That way you can try different characters while you're learning the game. Now when you're playing the game, you have 2 companions with you that will help you fight in the game, but you also can control 2 different characters. Like you can see on the bottom right side, I have 2 different characters. Now to get to those characters, you just press your menu button and you can go to battle settings. Now in the battle setting, those are the 2 characters that I'm playing. I'm playing a ninja, and I'm also playing a warrior. So now in order for you to switch between the 2 of them, to actually switch the job, you just press whatever corresponding button, and then it'll bring the other one. Then you press the corresponding button, like you look down there, it says change job. If it's A for you or X on other system, then that's what you press. And then you can go right here and you can see all the jobs that you already unlock, and then you can just switch between them. So that's how you combine those jobs together to make a very good build, so you can fight together. Now it depends on what you want. You can combine different jobs, So whichever makes sense for you, whichever you feel like it's the best jobs that you need, and that's what you do. So if I want to switch to the other one, I'll go to this one, and then I also can, switch whichever one that I want. So you just have to have a big combination or a good combination to see which one that you like. Now, inside the jobs, you also have what you call affinity. As you can see, the affinity on that side, if I press on the button right here, you can have those affinity that gives you some bonuses in the game. That way you can make your characters very powerful. So eventually you're going to learn all this stuff. Now, in order for you to have this affinity, you find those in gear. So now let's talk about the gear system. Now, the gear system is also another thing that you need to know, and then that's very important. So let's go to items real quick. That's another way to get to the gear, and you can see all the gears that you have right here. You have a weapon, you have armor, you have accessories, and you also have those crests that you get when you start doing the chaos difficulty. But apart from that, now here's how the gear system works. If you want to change your gear and stuff like that, just go to battle settings, and then as you can see, we have the gear right here. So if you want to change them to put something that is better, then you just go and click on the gear, and then you have all the ones that are available, whether they are at a higher level or whether or not you want them to have a different stats. So you just go through them and then pick the one that you want. Now, as you can see on the right side of each gear, there's an affinity. As you can see on the bottom in the middle of the screen, you can see, like for instance, this piece of helmet called Caster Mask. Also the job affinity for it on the bottom, it says Duelist. Now what that means, it gives you a percentage, right? What that means is that you're gonna have an affinity like I showed you earlier in the stuff. If I go all the way to the top, as you can see, the affinity, whatever affinity that is on that piece of gear, you can increase that affinity by having that percentage, and the more you have, the better bonuses that you are going to have. Now go back to the gear. So we were in the helmet, and then as you can see, they have different affinities. Now if there is another character that you like to have level up in the background, then you just pick that character. So whatever piece of gear that you pick, whatever affinity that it has, if you put that on, then that character is gonna be leveling up in the background. Let's say for instance, in all my gear, I put the knight as the affinity. So with that affinity, I will be able to level up that character even though I am not playing with that character. So once you get some experience for that character, you're gonna have what you call job points for that character. So if for the job points, then I can just go here and then I just use the job points. It depends on how many points it has, and then just to unlock some of the passive for that character. And also, if I have enough job points, then I can also unlock some other character in that character, even though I am not playing with this character. So that is the gist of that, and that is the very important thing that you need to know, so you can level up character in the background so you can get more benefits. Now let's talk about your party members, the two that are helping you out. So as you can see on the screen right there, I have Ash and Jed. Now, how do you control those people? So they have a corresponding button that tells you, you can see which one that you press. When you press on them, then it commands them to go do some action and fight for you and stuff like that. This is a very good way to actually distract a boss or distract other enemy. And that way you can stay in the background and then just cast your spell or whatever you need to do. So that's a good way you have the companions. Now also with the companions, they each have their own jobs that they can play. In the beginning, they only limited to certain jobs, but as you progress to the game, they can just have access to different jobs and you can just switch them. Now the way you switch them, you would go to the battle settings, and then as you can see right here, I can just cycle through them. And then as you can see on the right side, it says Jed, so I'm playing with Jed. And then I also have Ash on the background, and I can just switch the character. I also just put equipment on them, and then that way that can make them strongest while they are leveling up. They are leveling up as you are level up as well, so it's everything happening at the same time. Now the best way that I use those guys, and I don't just go and trying to just min max their gear, especially in the beginning of the game. So what I do, as you can see on the bottom right here, it says optimize equipment. So what I do right here, I just press the optimize equipment, and then I just press automatically equip items with the highest equipment. And if you do that, and then they're gonna have the highest equipment that is available to them. Now we talk about jobs, we talk about gears, and we also talk about companions. Now what about those gears, how to customize them? So in order for us to do that, we need to be on the map. Now, like I said, you have access to the map after you finish a mission, and also if you die, you can have access to the map instead of going back to the mission. Then you can just go to the map. Now, the map is where you can deal with your inventory, manage your gears and stuff like that. So if you click the menu button, as you can see, I have the main, that's just the job trees and stuff like that. But you also have on the right side, you have this called Cornelia, and you also have Smithy, and you also have Talk. So you're gonna go to Smithy. On the Smithy, then you got upgrade special effect. That's the way that you can upgrade some of your gear. So you go to a gear, and then as you can see right here, if you go to those, and then you can just change the percentage and stuff like that. That's what you do with that. If you have a piece of armor that you like and you want to make sure it's got better stats, then that's how you do that. Now, in order for you to do that, you're gonna need some resources, and those resources that you find by breaking other gear. Now, through this smithy, you can also upgrade your equipment level. To do this, you just go and find a piece of equipment that you want to level up, and then you get the option to actually upgrade the level. But in order for you to do this, you're gonna have this materials called Anima Shard. Now, you get Anima Shard by just playing the game. There's some mission that gives you more, some that gives you less, so that's how you get them. Now, Anima Shard throughout the main story is very important also for you to upgrade jobs tree. So that's a very important resource that you need to farm for if you want. Now, also through the smithy, this is where you manage your inventory, and you go to the dismantle, and then you see all this equipment right here that you have that you can do whatever you want to. So the main thing is trying to clean up your inventory, that way it's not clogged up. But you have 4,500 spaces that you can just keep getting stuff. But you're gonna spend a lot of time managing your inventory in this game because there are so many gears, so many stuff that you have being dropped, and you may not know what to do with. But this is the reason why you can come here. Every time you have access to the map, you can just come here and manage. Now, the way you do this, you just come right here, and then you just select whatever equipment that you want to select, and then you click the corresponding button, and here you have the option to filter, select all, and then you just go here right here and select all, and then now you can press the dismantle button, and it just asks you if you want to do that. So I don't want to do this right now, so you can say yes or no, and then that's how you do it. You manage this to delete the one that you don't have. So what you can do is just unclick or deselect the one that you need, and then just go to town and delete everything that you don't need. Now, you also have weapons, and you have armors, and you also have the accessories. So you can just go through these tabs, and then you have to manage it that way. Now, because managing your inventory is very important in this game, there's another way you can make things a lot easier for you. Just go down there where it says system settings, and then when you go right here, just go to auto-dismantle settings, and then here you can set the parameters to delete stuff as soon as you finish a mission. So you go here, and you're just gonna set the parameters to whatever you want. So when you first start in the game, you just go lower or higher or whatever. So for me, since I'm already in the 120 and stuff like that, so I can just go to close to 120 and delete everything that is lower than 120 or 120 or lower. So for me, I'm going to set this to 119. That way I make sure that I don't delete some of the 120 that I have, because I am about that level. And then you also have some other option. Those you don't have to do too much with. But also here, as far as the rarity of the game, just right here, you can set up the rarity. That way you don't pick up every little thing that you want. Well, guys, I think I covered enough, and I don't want to keep this going for a lot longer. So hopefully you find this helpful and it helps you in your journey with this game. If you have any more question or any suggestion, just please be sure to put them in the comment section. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I will see you guys later.